I'm John Joseph, and I have a lot of videos that'll help guide you to quit drinking and to quit an addiction to drugs. What I'm going to talk about really in a little bit of detail here for about the next 5 minutes is when you're helping a loved one with an addiction, um, not just how to approach them, but basically what you're going to have to expect. When you're helping a loved one, if they got a severe addiction, a severe crack addiction, heroin addiction, if they're a severe alcoholic, when there finally comes time to where they want to help, they're going to end up needing detox. If you can't afford it, you get it through the state for free. But they're going to end up needing detox and inpatient, and most probably at least 6 months to a year they got to be in. If they're not in 6 months to a year, it's going to be very hard to get them to stay clean and sober. So you got to know that. If some place says, oh, okay, we'll take them for a week, or, we've got room for 2 weeks or 30 days, it's not going to do it. If they're a hardcore addict, hardcore heroin, crack cocaine, or if they're a real heavy drinker where they're drinking like a bottle a day or a half a bottle a day, it's long term, they're going to need it. You're going to also have to get them involved in group AA. They're going to have to find new friends. They're going to have to hang around in new areas because triggers on their minds will be their friends, their old friends that we're using, and the areas. I mean, they could literally walk down a street where they were always using, and it's just the mind is triggering. It's like a sense, it's like a smell. You smell something that was from your childhood and you remember your childhood. Same thing with addiction. It's going to take time for all these triggers in the mind as they go through recovery. It will take time. It will take several years for these triggers to diminish. And as those triggers diminish, there's a lot less of a chance that they're going to relapse. But if they've got a severe addiction to alcohol or drugs, uh, hardcore drugs, they're going to need a psychiatrist. Chances are they're going to have to go on psychotropic drugs, and it's a process. They're going to need an addiction counselor, and they're going to need regular counseling, and of course, inpatient also. So there's a lot to go through. They're not going to just one day give up heroin and that's it. If they're hardcore heroin and if they're hardcore alcoholism, especially if they're in the third stage of alcoholism, there's 3 stages. If they're in the third stage, in other words, when they stop drinking, if you see their hand shaking, 25% of those people, when they quit drinking cold turkey, they die. So you need to get them into detox and they need to be under medical supervision. So if you got a hardcore addict in your family, it's not they're not just going to stop and sweat it out in a few days and they're going to be fine. They need help, they need assistance, they need other people. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. It would be best if you set all that up. Go talk to some counselors. Just listen, if you don't have the money, the state's got it available. Just call the state, the social service, human service division, and you can go down there and talk with one of the counselors and they'll walk you through it. But your loved one's going to need a psychiatrist. They're going to need support from a regular AA, NA, Narcotics Anonymous group, and they're going to need to have at least 6 months to a year to where they're in a center, inpatient. That's the only way they're going to get well. And when they come out, they can't go back to the old neighborhood where they were hanging. If you're where you're living, everything was happening down the block. You got to move. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to understand. I'm going to give you a lot of the guideposts and I'm going to walk you through a lot. Keep an eye on the videos that I'm posting, and I'm going to be answering a lot of questions. Going to be going over a lot. If you need, you can email me. I mean, I'm available and I'll do what I can to help you, but you'll be surprised 5 or 6 or 7 emails and I could really enlighten your situation. So Thank you, and just keep an eye out for these videos. I got my book coming out, treatingaddiction.info, which, by the way, you'll be able to purchase online, but it's going to be free on my website. Just a little different format with some ads around it, but you'll be able to read it for free. So if somebody don't have the money or the means, and the book's going to be reasonable. I mean, I'm thinking a couple of bucks for the ebook. So I want to reach people. I'm not thinking of money. I'm not rich. I've got my day work. I've got a local business I run, and believe me, I'm not rich. But I'm pointing out that uh, I'll make everything available to you. Money is not going to stop the information that I have to give to you. Money is not going to stop you from getting it. So just trust me. This is why I'm here. Um, Thank you.